This is how you share your games on PS4. Thanks.
Hey! We're recording the podcast! Shut up!
Good morning to you, wherever you are, because it is
Morning Subway!
for July 2nd, 2026. My name is Bernie Burns, sitting right over there, still available on physical media. It's Ashley Burns. Say hi to Ashley, everybody.
Only until January 2028.
Boy, it is crazy how... did you think at any point in time that we would be talking about physical media in 2026 about as much as any other topic?
I didn't. I mean, I thought, like, when would you say the balance shifted? I'd say, like, early teens, right? So, like.
I mean, when the Xbox One was, like, being announced and everyone beat that thing into the fucking ground, I would say it was already at the tipping point. Just some people weren't prepared. Like, maybe 60% of the people were, unprepared to go digital. Let's just say that.
It's funny. So when I was working for Xbox in Australia, the Xbox store in the US, they had the Xbox Live Arcade was really popular and it was doing really well. Digital sales were starting to pick up on Xbox 360, and I found it really interesting the way retailers in Australia responded. They basically were like, we're not going to stock your fucking Xbox if you ever sell a digital game cheaper than physical.
Yeah, makes sense.
Like they knew it. They were protecting their turf.
Can we back up for a second here? We're just talking about a topic.
Yes, we are.
We've
We've buried the lead. So PlayStation, Sony has announced that they are no longer going to be manufacturing physical versions of their games after January 2028. And
for
just
all PlayStation games, They didn't even say, like, the headline I read was all PlayStation games, not just for Sony Studios.
Right, all PlayStation games. So I'll read you this statement because it's not that long. This is from Sid Schumann. As consumer preferences and the broader entertainment industry continue to shift away from physical discs to digital, physical game disc production for all new games releasing on PlayStation consoles will be discontinued starting January 2028. Following this date, new games will be available on PlayStation Store and at retailers in digital formats only. This transition has no impact on games that are already released or will be releasing prior to January 2028 in disc format. So basically, after January 2028, no game releasing on PlayStation will be available physically.
This announcement would have been just, I feel like, another little slip down the slippery slope if earlier in this exact same week they hadn't made the announcement that they were pulling away 551 digital movie titles from people that had bought them from them. They were going to be pulling them out of their library.
Yeah, from the Sony storefront.
Yeah, they bought it from the Sony storefront, but they're pulling it out of your library as well. They were no longer going to be available if you had bought them to watch this movie that you quote unquote owned. It was going to be leaving your PlayStation because their licensing deal expired with Studio Canal.
Right. This does feel like the shittiest possible timing for this announcement.
Does nobody within the company talk to each other? I mean, was there a deadline?
It kind of feels like that. Like, no one got the memo?
What a fucking brain dead week PR-wise for that company. Honestly, that's brain dead. How do you make that announcement earlier in the week? And then they're like, hey, any other announcements coming up later this week? Oh, yeah, this is when we're doing the 2-year lead announcement that we're going to be taking away physical media.
Not even. Year and a half.
Year and a half. We're just 18 months out. Either way, punt it a month. Punt it 4 months if you have to.
Give it a little bit of time.
Jesus Christ.
At this point, I feel like if they were in the mood to be, console war era snarky, this is when Xbox needs to put out just like a shitty little social video clip going, here's how you keep a game forever. And then hand over a physical copy of an Xbox game.
Listen, Sony, the drop from today was when Xbox announced 14 years ago, that their new Xbox was going to be digital only. Sony, when there was blood in the water, decided to participate in that. The company, which I found to be strange, not just for a company to do that, but I found that weird for a Japanese company to do that.
Yeah, although that was at that point in time, the companies were like that company snark was kind of a big thing with the console wars. And it also was like the American arm of the company at an American trade show.
But when you're making that kind of video, even though it was 13 years ago and you're making like the anti-progress of technology, which everything was clearly headed that direction. Even when I saw that video at the time, I was like, we'll see. And it took 13 years.
13 years, but we got there.
But it's like, if you make that video and you post that video yourself on the internet where it's going to live forever, you got to know that's going to come back and bite you in the ass. You got to know that.
Right. And then with this 1-2 punch, right, of not only are we discontinuing physical releases, but also just a reminder that we could remove them from you at any time.
We just earlier this week revoked, what was the damage that we calculated one person could have suffered if they had all 551 titles?
Like $11,000 or something like that?
Right, with no remuneration, no make good, nothing whatsoever. They did that this week.
It was like not even a like real sorry about that. It was basically, it was kind of a go fuck yourselves. This statement as well, they're like, we're just not going to do it. We're not going to do physical releases anymore. Feels a lot like that. It's like, oh, well, if you like physical, you're just a dinosaur and go fuck yourself.
And the thing is, I want to be mad because it's anti-consumer, but I think I'm more angry because it's just bad storytelling. It's like, do the announcement.
How dare you?
Do the announcement and then show us the bad consequence. Don't show us the bad consequence first and then make the announcement after
You're
that.
You're doing it all out of order.
I know, right? Don't fuck with the script. The script works. What a dumb decision.
I actually wonder how much of this is like almost like a response to the increasing console prices as a result of component shortages for other components. Not obviously the disc, they can get Blu-ray disc drives. That's not a problem for Sony. Unless they like operate under the Samsung model of like, hey, other department, go fuck yourself. But they, because the price of the consoles has gone up, then everything looks more expensive. And if they can then cut the Blu-ray drive out and just like not have to worry about doing a version of the console that can support physical media, then they look cheaper, right? Like, let me look up here's what we go. If I go to the PlayStation Store, the digital edition of the PS5 that has 825 gigabytes of space, that's $599. If I look for, here's the terabyte console that has a disk drive, that's $650. So they can save some money, right? They can save a little bit of money if they drop out the disk drive, and then they look cheaper. Because everything else is getting more expensive.
Also, there was somebody in our comments, and I'm sorry I don't have your username handy. They were saying like they didn't understand why someone would prefer digital copies of the games anyway over physical media, and why people would talk negatively about physical media. If you want to have the disc, have the disc. It's like, just leave us alone. And I get it, but also I remember when I was big into digital only for my content, one of the things that I told myself was that, well, it's a little bit less wasteful from a manufacturing standpoint.
Because you don't have to make the disc, you don't have to make the sleeve, you don't have to make the plastic wrap that goes around it all. You don't have to make all that stuff.
I am not against digital media. I do think it makes more sense. I love my Steam library and things like that. So far, so good with Steam, right? I just don't like these policies they have now where they can revoke a license for something that you've bought. And I've run into it personally. Microsoft could put out a video like that today and completely flip the script, which they need at this point, I think.
Right. They do need a shot in the arm.
Right. But
as long as they're willing to commit to it for all time.
Exactly right. See, that's the thing, is that it's probably like you're saying with the breakdown of like what the costs of it are. It makes a lot more sense on a spreadsheet to go digital only. It probably does. And so they can't give that up in order to have this PR shift. But I think it would be huge for them if they could do that.
Here's the thing though, it's like this is like bad news after bad news. And
it really is, right? Everything is just feeling like aggressively anti-consumer, right?
Yeah, but it's like this is an extra poor time to do that because hardware sales are I don't think they're at an all-time low for PlayStation, but they're like a 20-year low.
Don't you feel like too, like not just like in consumerism, but also with a government as well? Like they make these announcements and it's just like, it's almost like this air of like, what are you going to do about it? Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to not buy the next PlayStation? You know, and I saw a Reddit comment going, do we have the balls to not buy these things in the future?
Well, I think there's a very good chance that if you can manage to do the following, you got to tickle. There's a couple boxes you're going to need to tick. You're going to need to tickle the boxes. You're going to need to make the console too expensive. Check. You're going to need to, remove people's confidence in their ownership of what they're purchasing. Right? Check. You're going to need to make it so that people are never done paying for the service. Check. Right? It's like you're going down the list, and you never own anything. You can't have confidence that anything you buy will be owned forever. It's going to be really expensive, and they're reducing your options for making sure that you do own stuff, like getting physical versions.
Yeah. It's crazy. It is baffling to me how those two announcements could come out in the same week. Like, there must have been a team of people who were in charge of the second announcement.
Right. Like,
saw the beginning of the week and thought,
do they have multiple PR teams that don't talk to each other? Do they not have even a weekly scrum? Probably would have caught this.
There is the people. You were an employee of Rooster Teeth, Ashley. Would you say the people at Rooster Teeth had enormous creative freedom in creating their own things?
Sure. I mean, you would. There were a bunch of opportunities to go and pitch new shows. Remember pitch. But
people making shows or whatever, it's like they didn't have to hit certain notes story wise or things like that. People had a lot of creative autonomy.
Yeah, you didn't have the Netflix formula of make sure you describe stuff that you're doing. There was no playbook like that. It was what do you want to do? Go ahead and make that.
The one time, and I can remember this because it's there were so few times where we said, "Hey, this seems like a really bad idea," and it was just a timing thing. It was, we had done all this work for a show that was coming out that was a mech show, Genlock, and we'd done a bunch of marketing for it and everything like that. At the same time, we were running a show called Ruby, and there was a giant mech that was going to be in that season. And it just worked out on the calendar that the team put out the episode with the giant mech and Ruby 3 days before the mech show debuted. And it was slated on the calendar. I remember going in the meeting going, guys, this is just do you not see that this is a bad idea to we've been building up to this mech show and we're going to have a giant mech episode of Ruby literally 3 days before the mech show debuts.
Is that synergy or anti-synergy?
It's we built up all of this demand to watch this mech show and we're doing it. And it really is one of the few times where we had to make a change on the calendar, change on the deadline and things like that. Because it just made sense, but that was our job. There's got to be someone at Sony who's overlooking that stuff. Somebody, right?
It's a big business.
Good Lord.
You got to look after it.
Good Lord. Anyway, so just more is it a slippery slope at this point, or are we just in full slide?
Yeah, I don't know that I don't know how much footing is left.
JD said, my oldest son said years ago that he had watched this presentation, and he quotes it all the time, which is someone's view of the future, which was, you will own nothing and you will be happy. And it seems like we're headed in that direction where we're never going to own anything ever again. It's just we're going to rent our own experience on an ongoing basis.
This is you will own nothing and be happy is a phrase published by the World Economic Forum based on a 2016 essay by Danish politician Ida Auken about a future in which a hypothetical person relies on the sharing economy for their needs.
Everything and anything.
Yeah.
And you will own nothing and you will be happy, which you can look at that and put a positive spin on that, right?
Right. That it's if you don't own anything, then you have no baggage. You have nothing tying you down. It's all ephemeral.
And nobody owns anything. If nobody owns anything, the problem is it's there's a few people who own everything and a bunch of people who own nothing, apparently.
Yeah, that didn't fit in the pithy quote.
Yeah, I just wonder if I think about that Reddit comment. I'll have to go back and find that guy's Reddit comment so we can link it in the link up of just do we have the balls to just not buy these things, right? Because that's it. That's all we got left at this point.
I mean, I don't even know if it's going to take balls or if it's just going to be outside people's purchasing power. This is not a decision that I can reasonably make to buy one of these things for my household. Yes, at one point, games were and will continue to be very cost effective, but that's still outside my price range.
Let's take a lesson from all the people having a great time at the World Cup. Let's all just go back to, we'll go to the bar.
We're gonna go kick balls around.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the park and the bar. That's it. Instead of sitting in our homes and subscribing to everything that's coming down the pipe.
You know what though? The park and the bar sound nice.
They do. The park and the bar sound nice. And everyone at the World Cup is having a great time. You want to, we usually start with the World Cup. You want to end with the World Cup today?
Yes, we're mixing it up.
Okay, so yesterday the big story is England, but the USA beat Bosnia-Herzegovina, Belgium beat Senegal, and England came back after being down 1-0 for like 65 minutes.
That's the game that I kept hearing about. Yesterday was that they were behind. Everyone thought they were going to lose, and then like right at the end,
it was a tough
made a
watch.
big comeback. So it seems like that would have been one of those games that was a really, like, if you're an England fan, would have been a really hard watch for the first like 2/3, and then would have been absolutely thrilling.
The goal which they went ahead on was really honestly an amazing goal. It was incredible. It's Harry Kane. He had this. Guy's a beast. He's not a huge dude. He's not like your Norway dude, your Norwegian dude. But he had this thing where he crossed in front of the goal and had 3 defenders on him and just found a hole and took the lead. It was pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
Those moments, I can't say I'm a huge fan of football just in general. I don't go out of my way to watch it, but when I see those clips, I do appreciate them. Like that is a human doing what seems like a simple thing, which is kick the ball at a level I can't even imagine.
Well, I think, too, it's like I don't have enough knowledge about the sport yet to understand what set that up. It just seems like they kick the ball around for a while, and then something happens and it gets a little bit closer to the goal, and then it gets really exciting for a second or two. But that's me. That's my level of knowledge, right? And I'm getting there. And I am embracing it. It's like I feel like Scotland being out has taken a lot of pressure off me, where I can just enjoy
now
these games now.
Like you don't have to really be too invested. You just watch and see what happens.
And I want to be clear, I don't have that thing where I want England to lose. I didn't at all. I was actually cheering for England.
No, that is a very Scottish thing. Is like no matter what,
It might be a Europe thing.
Probably. Like Scotland can lose, and that sucks. But England has to lose.
You think it's that it's coming home phrase? You think that puts people off?
I think that might put people off just a little bit. What do you think?
Well,
because every time it gets said, you see everyone else go, ugh.
English fans will be the first to tell you that it's not. Everyone else hears like it's going to where it should be, that they're presuming that that's where it's supposed to be. The trophy is supposed to be in England.
Well, I see.
Whereas the English fans are saying, no, it's just coming home to us.
Home is where it always belonged. We lent it to you for a little while.
That's what you're hearing when they say it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think they're just saying, no, it's coming to our home. Like it's coming here. That's what they'll say. It's not, but to everyone else, it sounds very assumptive.
It does. It sounds like here's where it belongs. It should have been here all along. You got to borrow it for a little while, and now it's coming back to its rightful place.
So England now is going on to face Mexico, which should be an incredible match. But then later today, Spain will be playing Austria, Portugal will be playing Croatia, and then Switzerland will be playing Algeria.
Well, that'll be fun times.
There's a conspiracy theory out there that all sports seasons are fixed, and I saw this huge breakdown on this person predicting based on the colors of this year's World Cup that they communicate. The best part about conspiracy theories, my favorite part, there's a great reel that talks about it. Like they do this big, huge conspiracy, right? There's these top-level government agents.
Incredibly elaborate.
Secret societies that operate outside the rules, outside the laws of our country. They pull off this incredible thing, and then when they're all done, they go to the final phase, which is, and now, the clues. They make sure to leave clues for all the conspiracy theorists to go and find. And so this is it. There's this theory, this crackpot notion.
How can anyone appreciate their work if they don't leave clues for the brilliant to follow?
Right. It's like the serial killer that wants to be caught, right? What's the point of pulling off the conspiracy if you can't have somebody find out about it, right? You got to leave enough clues to where the people who see the clues and they know the truth, everyone else thinks they're crazy, right? But the theory here is that when they put out the colors, that the colors communicate who's going to win. And according to this conspiracy,
aren't the colors like the countries?
Portugal's gonna win it this year based on the colors that are the official colors of World Cup 2026, because that's the clues, Ashley.
That's the clue.
Yeah, they want to let you know.
That's the one that they all voted on.
Do I need to say this is not financial advice? It's not financial advice. So Good luck to Portugal in their match
win
against Croatia tonight. The odds-on favorite, according to the script, who's going to win the whole thing. So, all right, Ashley. Well, who will be joining us in our conspiracy today?
All right. I want to say a big shout out to Alfred Langerbeck and Jake Cox. Thank you both for shining a light on the truth and for sponsoring this episode of our show at patreon.com/morningsomewhere and roosterteeth.com.
All right. That does it for us today, July 2nd, 2026. We will be back talking tomorrow. We hope you will be here as well.
Bye, everybody.